All right, welcome to another edition of Occult in Plain Sight. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Bruce Dickinson, frontman for the legendary metal band Iron Maiden. So, let's get into it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
When it comes to all the talk of occultists in the music industry who have used their occult knowledge to further their careers, the one that comes to mind for me and tops my list is Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden fame, as he is best known for his work with Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden was not as popular until Bruce Dickinson became their vocalist, and once he left, sales began to decline as well, until his return. And to this day, they're still going strong. But one can't really use Iron Maiden as a gauge to see the influence of the occult on Bruce Dickinson, because Bruce doesn't write most of the songs in Iron Maiden. Instead, we have to look at the work that he's done in his solo career. Bruce Dickinson is a very successful magician. In fact, he has a song called The Magician, which if I had the license would be the theme song for this channel. It's one of my favorite songs. Now, unfortunately, I cannot play any of the music because YouTube is not known for upholding fair use when it comes to copyright claims. The best I could do is read the lyrics and put a link to the songs in the top right-hand corner of the video. In The Magician, Bruce says, "I am the living flame, and I teach the holy games. Teach the secret of the dance, throw the future in the runes. Kick the sand in Satan's face, I'll put Jesus in his place. Shaman or priest, it's all the same, the magician is my name." It's an excellent song, and it's one that I like to play when I need to get pumped up right before an operation. The song Dark Side of Aquarius from the same album speaks of moving the wheel of Dharma. But it wasn't until the album The Chemical Wedding that Bruce Dickinson's solo work really started to reflect the occult. His song The Tower is all about tarot cards, and even comprised the entire chorus of tarot cards. Lovers in the tower, the moon and sun divided, the magician laughs. Now, if you would interpret the cards that the song is using, it can be interpreted as the conscious and the subconscious minds being kept apart from one another, when in magic we want to get them closer together, to have cross-communication. So even though it's a catchy chorus, I'm not too keen on the cards that he's using. The song The Book of Thel is another one off of the Chemical Wedding album. It's very difficult not to see the occult influence on the song. Stand inside the temple as the Book of Thel is opening. The priestess stands before you, offering her hand out. She's rising. The song Gates of Urizen starts out with, "As above, so below. All things come from the One." Now, nobody's going to put that in the song without some Kabbalistic or Hermetic knowledge. As above, so below is one of the most telling phrases that you can use. And I know people say, well, it's just songs, it's just art. But yet, the art reflects the artist. And if you have enough reflections, you can get a pretty good picture of who the artist is. The song The Alchemist mentions Taurus and bringing him all the elements. There are plenty of references for those who are in the know to understand that Bruce Dickinson is involved in the occult. But the most in plain sight piece has to be the cover of his Best of Bruce Dickinson album, where the sigil of a specific Goetic demon is printed, and on the CD itself. Now, you can't really claim ignorance on this one. You can't say that he doesn't know what that is, right? I wouldn't believe that kind of a coincidence. And why would a specific Goetic demon be printed on his artwork? Well, in gratitude or payment. I firmly believe that this particular Goetic demon, who I'm not going to name because names tend to draw attention, is responsible for the successful career of Bruce Dickinson. At some point, he must have called upon this Goetic spirit for assistance with his career. And it's not the first time I've come across this particular spirit doing so. You start to put the pieces together and you realize just how great a magician Bruce Dickinson really is to have accomplished so much in his life. He's world-class fencing, in one of the most successful metal bands in history, and a commercial air pilot who flies the band's own plane, from gig to gig. He's multi-talented and quite accomplished, but it's also something that you often find with people who are involved in the occult. Some of the talent may come natural, some of it may have been petitioned for. But the Spirit Sigil on the Best Of album tells me that the successful career of Bruce Dickinson was not an accident. It was purposeful and deliberate, and something that he wanted very much. Did you know that Bruce Dickinson also wrote a movie and made an appearance as a cameo? He wrote the screenplay for Chemical Wedding, which shares the same name as his album, and plays the title song from that album as the opening soundtrack. But Chemical Wedding wasn't released in the United States. It was released under the name Crowley, and is a science fiction story about Aleister Crowley being resurrected and coming back.
I met Crowley. I was a student. He was an old man. He had access to some extraordinary knowledge. This year's lecture will be given by Dr. Haddow.
When great minds
Reporters call it the Space Coven.
start to meddle
Here we go.
with unknown forces,
It is time to commence our labors.
when bright young things poke around
Who is Aleister Crowley?
It's a 1920s occultist. He died years ago.
in dark, dark places,
Did you know he was here at Cambridge?
be assured that something wicked
He's come back, hasn't he?
this way comes.
Haddow's been possessed by the greatest spiritual leader of modern times.
Crowley.
Aleister Crowley.
Good afternoon, ladies.
I am, I must admit, a little unclear of your identity.
You may refer to me
As the Beast.
Now we shall embark on the greatest occult event of history. Will you walk? Or shall I get the car?
Now, overall, it was a terrible movie, but it did have some pretty funny scenes. But if you were on the fence on whether or not Bruce Dickinson is really involved in the occult, then his making a movie centered on Aleister Crowley, if it doesn't, then I don't know what it's going to take for you to see it. And now he's also an author to boot, releasing an autobiography not that long ago. So Bruce Dickinson is quite an accomplished person. How many lifetimes would most people need to accomplish what Bruce Dickinson has in his life? It seems quite incredible for those who don't even consider the occult to be a factor. But as he declares in his song The Magician is my name. He has used magic to achieve great things in his life. That's what it's for. I've been told by some people that using the occult is basically cheating your way through life. But I disagree with that. I find it to be a way to get exactly what you want out of life. I find the career of Bruce Dickinson and everything that he's accomplished to be quite inspiring. And if he can do it, so can you. He just dialed in exactly what he wanted out of life. Oh, and another thing about Bruce Dickinson, he also beat cancer. Yes, he had great doctors, but I'm also sure that he just didn't rely on doctors. I would be very surprised if he did not turn to magic to assist him with that situation. And of course, all the knowledge that Bruce has and magical work that he has done carries over into Iron Maiden. There's no question of that. After all these years, Bruce Dickinson and Iron Maiden are still going strong. In fact, their last album was one of their most successful that they've had. And for these reasons, I consider Bruce Dickinson to be one of the best magicians and occultists in the music industry. I mean, we've had artists in the occult come and go, but Bruce is still around, and more popular than ever, worldwide. And it's all in plain sight. It's not hidden at all, for those with ears to hear and eyes to see. which unfortunately a lot of people do not have. I've watched a lot of interviews with Bruce Dickinson, and they always ask him about his music, but never his connection to the occult. I'm still waiting for someone to have that interview with him. And that will about do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was simply reminded on just how in plain sight all of this is when it comes to Bruce Dickinson. There's a lot more to be found if you really dig into his material. I was just giving some of the more notable examples. We have a limited edition shirt that we're going to be saying bye-bye to. It's going to be ending soon after this video reaches YouTube, so get it while you can before it's discontinued. Follow me at all the usual places. This is Frater Xavier. I want to thank you all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Take care.